By this point, the HOA's pattern of audacity had become dangerously predictable. After repeated humiliations, the lake incident, dock sabotage, Carolina Reaper wings, snake deterrence, junkyard disasters, river meddling, and attempted willow tree removal, they seemed to escalate with reckless abandon. This time, a group of HOA cops raided my ranch without warning or legal authority, believing that sheer intimidation would assert control over me. What they didn't anticipate, however, was that I had allies and preparations in place far beyond their imagination. The incursion began early in the morning. A convoy of SUVs and pickup trucks, marked with makeshift HOA security insignia, rolled onto my property. They approached aggressively, shouting over megaphones and attempting to assert authority. Ranger immediately moved into patrol formation, alerting me to every movement. Drones deployed overhead, capturing license plates, faces, and the exact sequence of events, ensuring that every detail of this illegal raid was meticulously documented. Inside the ranch, I coordinated with my security team and longtime allies. Grandpa was already stationed near the perimeter, overseeing heavy equipment and defensive setups, while I contacted a specialized unit, a biker gang that had long-standing agreements with me for the protection of my land. These allies were not hired enforcers in the traditional sense. They were experienced, formidable, and strategically loyal to me alone. They were familiar with the property, terrain, and the HOA's history of audacity. As the HOA cops entered the main yard, they were met with an unexpected sight. A dozen motorcycles, engines rumbling, riders wearing leather and brandishing tactical flashlights, blocking key access points. The intruders froze, unsure how to proceed, as Ranger barked and circled strategically to flank their vehicles. The combination of visual intimidation, organized positioning, and legal authority created immediate hesitation. The HOA had assumed they could intimidate me with sheer numbers and self-proclaimed authority. They had severely underestimated my preparedness. Karen, ever the loudmouth, attempted to assert control. "This is a legal operation. Step aside, or we'll proceed by force," she shouted. But her bravado faltered as one of the bikers calmly approached her vehicle and placed a hand on the hood, signaling dominance without aggression. Drones recorded every moment, ensuring complete documentation of their unlawful raid and my measured, strategic response. I emerged onto the porch, projecting calm authority. "Karen, you have no legal authority here. You are trespassing. Leave immediately, or your continued intrusion will be documented and submitted to authorities for prosecution. Every action is recorded, and any attempt at escalation will result in legal and operational consequences." My voice, amplified by megaphones strategically placed around the yard, carried over the entire property, leaving no doubt that the HOA's audacity was no longer welcome. The HOA cops attempted to maneuver toward the main house, but the biker gang strategically positioned themselves to block access points. Grandpa activated additional defensive measures. Automated gates closed slowly but securely, and strategically placed cameras provided full coverage for every approach. The intruders' confidence collapsed as they realized they were trapped within their own misjudgment. Every shout, every attempt to intimidate, and every frustrated gesture was captured on video for legal purposes. Karen's panic escalated when she noticed that her attempts to intimidate were futile. The HOA's cops were disoriented, unable to advance without violating both the law and the strategic perimeter I had established. Within minutes, they began retreating, abandoning any pretense of authority. The motorcycles revved in unison, signaling control and dominance, while Ranger continued patrolling, ensuring no one attempted to circle or flank the property. After the HOA retreated, I documented the entire scene: footage of abandoned vehicles, retreat paths, and recorded audio of Karen's protests. Legal notices were prepared for each participant, citing trespass, harassment, and intimidation attempts. The HOA's audacity had once again backfired spectacularly. Their raid had not only failed but reinforced the absolute authority I wielded over my property. Reflecting on the incident, it was clear this was another turning point. From lakes, docks, BBQs, junkyards, rivers, and willow trees to snake deterrence and Carolina Reaper lessons, every escalation had prepared me to respond decisively. The biker gang intervention, combined with careful documentation and strategic deployment, demonstrated the power of preparation, loyalty, and ingenuity when confronting repeated audacity. By evening, the ranch was secure. Ranger patrolled the perimeter, drones hovered silently, and legal measures ensured that any future intrusion would be met with consequences of both legal and operational magnitude. Karen and the HOA had learned, yet again, that trespassing, harassment, and audacity on my land are met with unyielding strategy, enforcement, and undeniable authority. My ranch, my rules, and my legacy of preparation and creativity remained unchallenged, sending a permanent message. Interference carries consequences that are both inevitable and inescapable.